What's up guys, good to see you. As you could tell from the title of this video, I'm about to do something that might be a little bit crazy, but then again, maybe not, we'll see. So for the next 21 straight days, I will be intaking 4,000 calories every single day on a ketogenic diet. So you're obviously wondering, why the hell am I doing this? What's the point? What's the purpose? Hear me out. I was at the Low Carb USA conference a few weeks ago. I was surrounded by top doctors, scientists, and researchers. I had the ability to kind of overhear a lot of discussions that were going on. And one of those discussions was around an overfeeding study on a ketogenic diet. As soon as I heard this, bells just went off. I was so curious as to what would happen to me personally if I did take 4,000 calories in every day for 21 straight days. I obsessed over it. I had so many different hypotheses of what would happen, and ultimately I decided that I'm gonna do it. Over the years, I've treated myself as kind of like an experiment. I've tried every single diet you can think of, ultimately landing on the ketogenic diet and sticking with that now for almost an entire year. On average, I would say my caloric intake has been around 2,000 calories, so this is double my caloric intake. The macronutrient ratio for this experiment is going to be 75% of my calories are going to come from fat or more, 75% or more. So that equals out to be 333 grams of fat or more. When it comes to protein, I'm going to be intaking 20% of my daily calories or less. That equals out to 200 grams of protein or less. I'm really going to try and keep that number down as far as I possibly can, because we all know too much protein might keep you out of ketosis. As long as I'm under 20%, we'll be good. Finally, I will be tracking net carbohydrates. So as you know, net carbs are carbs minus fiber. My goal there is 5% of my daily calories or less. That comes out to be about 50 grams of carbs or less. Again, I'm going to try and keep that number down as far as I possibly can. So the biggest question I have, is this possible? Right? As you know, if you've been following a ketogenic diet, the very first thing you notice when you enter ketosis is a huge reduction in appetite. Fat is very, very satiating. That's one of the biggest benefits of this diet, right? The prospect or the idea or even the thought of force feeding myself fat during those periods where I just feel like I have no appetite kind of scares me a little bit. I definitely think it's going to be a challenge. And just so you know, if I were to do this on a 4,000 calorie a day, 21 straight days with 75% of my calories coming from carbohydrates, I'd be a lot more stoked about this. I know it would be a lot easier, but I also know what the results would be. I would definitely gain a lot of body fat. The other thing is, what kind of level of ketosis will I be able to maintain? Will I even be able to enter ketosis with such a huge caloric intake, right? To test that, I'm going to use urinalysis test, which, as you and I have discussed before, not the most accurate, but nonetheless will tell you if you are producing ketones. Also very inexpensive, so I'll be doing that on a daily basis. I'm also going to invest in a blood ketone monitor. That's going to measure beta hydroxybutyrate levels in my blood. I'll do that once or twice a week. I'm also interested to see what happens to my cholesterol levels and other blood testing. So I made this mistake when I started the keto diet almost a year ago. I did not get my blood work done. Biggest regret ever. I'm not going to make the same mistake. So at the beginning of this experiment, I will be going to get a full blood lipid panel profile test. And then at the very end of the experiment, I will do a test again to see what kind of changes we have in my lipid profile. Additionally, I'm gonna go get a body analysis test. I've never really taken my body fat percentage. I know a lot of people are kind of surprised at that. Everybody wants to know what my body fat percentage is. I've just never given a shit, to be honest with you. But for this test, obviously I'm gonna go do that. So I will be getting what's called a bod pod test at a local gym nearby. That's gonna measure my body fat percentage, my lean body mass, my total body weight, and whatever else it does. I'm gonna do that at the beginning of the experiment and at the end, so we can see what percentage of change, I have physically. The other thing that I'm kind of curious about is my ability to build lean muscle, simply because I have such a big caloric surplus. Just to clear this up, you can build muscle on a ketogenic diet. That's got to be one of the top questions I get. The reason being, ketones are protein sparing. When you're in ketosis, you have elevated levels of leucine, which is the primary trigger for protein synthesis. They've also done a lot of studies showing, I shouldn't say a lot of studies, a study showing that you can build lean muscle with a caloric maintenance. maintenance. Clearly, I'll be way above a caloric maintenance. When it comes to training, I am not going to change a single thing. I'm going to keep that variable as close to as constant as I possibly can. So that means I'll be doing what I always do, training about 5 days a week, resistance training, some Tabata at the end of workouts, obviously doing abs. The point is, I'm not going to go out and do a bunch more cardio. I'm not going to increase my workout time or intensity just because I'm taking in 4,000 calories a day. It'll be interesting to see my energy levels with the additional calories, but I will not change a single thing when it comes to training. This is just an experiment, guys. I'm not out to prove anything at all, but I am, for everybody that argues it's calories in, calories out, no matter what diet you do, all of this, that, and the other, you would probably be sitting here watching this video thinking, I've got to get fat, right? I've got to gain a bunch of body fat percentage. I'm intaking twice my caloric intake, 4,000 calories a day for 21 straight days. So I've got to gain weight. That has to be what everybody's thinking. So we will find out if on a ketogenic diet, it's such a high caloric intake, how much body fat will I gain? That's the big question. So I know that this experiment is going to hopefully answer a lot of questions that I personally have. I'm sure along the way it's going to prompt a lot of other good questions. I'm going to capture as much data as I possibly can. I'm going to share everything with you guys. So I guess that's it. Wish me luck. I really want to know what you think of this, what you think the outcome's gonna be. Any questions that you have that I haven't already thought of, let me know in the comment section below. Am I gonna get fat? Am I gonna build a bunch of muscle? Am I gonna die of a heart attack or a stroke? Let me know what your thoughts are, and it'll be interesting to see, the answers to your questions at the end of this 21 days. So, as always, guys, keep up the good work, much love, and I'll see you on day one.